Confidence, the only thing you need. There's a lot of ways we want to act and behave, a lot of things we want to do for the other person. I feel like as a teenager, we always feel like we have all this intrinsic value, and all these shonen main character shows that we watch, we always feel like we carry a lot of value, and once it comes down to it, we're gonna surprise the world and they're gonna see all the value within us. Now, confidence is something that will help people see their value in you all the time. People always hide behind their excuses under the guise of fear, and they don't dare to put themselves out there, and they don't dare to inject themselves into society because they're chronically afraid. We have so many things we want to express, so many ideas, but due to a lack of confidence, we end up never really expressing these ideas. And slowly we develop this inflated intrinsic value, thinking that since we never ever express anything, once we do, we think that we have a lot of value. And this only makes us slide deeper and deeper down a hole where we never actually have any experience. Hence we dig such a deep hole for ourselves that's self-sustaining, and it keeps getting deeper if we don't get our head out of it. We think we are valuable because of this massive influx of ideas on how to be an interesting person, but we never ever act on them. I'm talking in place of those that suppress themselves because of fear. That's something that I used to struggle with, and I still struggle with that a bit now, but to become attractive, valuable, and an interesting person, one must first develop confidence in order for people to even see that in the first place. You have to put yourself out there. You can't expect anyone to see your value if you're not showing it. That's stupid and deluded. This starts with mental health, your ability to be self-assured, how you feel in your own skin, whether you're comfortable in how you express yourself. Nobody likes a person who constantly needs appreciation and validation. Nobody will help you if you are slowly getting more and more resentful, even though you still don't want to make the choice to put yourself out there and face your fears. You'll be a burden to them. It takes an incredibly mentally healthy person to even tolerate you. Either that or they feed on your dependence on them. And that's why they enjoy your attachment and they enjoy your company, because you depend on them for your emotional support, like a wimp. You may be subconscious, but they will never see you as equals if you constantly depend on them. It's just how it works, no matter what you say about it. This creates an ingenuous bond and hence a superficial relationship of codependency. I used to value appreciation a lot. I would preach it, I would practice it constantly, and I would expect people to do the same, and if they don't, I think they're just fearful of not showing appreciation to me because I'm some deluded self-righteous. I was retarded. There's still a lot of truth in showing genuine appreciation for somebody. There's a lot of importance to that, and a lot of substance to that, a lot of meaning to that, and a lot of charisma to that. Very few people practice this ability to be grateful for things. So we cannot expect people to thank us, even if we very much deserve it. If you plan to do things for other people, don't expect anything back for it. That's subjecting them to, just expecting them to repay something that they didn't even ask from you. That's stuck up and selfish. If you plan to get things back for doing something for another person, then don't do it for them. You're being an absolute asshole. As an individual, we have to be self-sustaining, self-assured in our own flesh, comfortable. If we can't be there for ourselves, we can never be there for others. I don't mean to be cheesy when I say this, but how can we expect to take care of people and be important and have a place in this world if we can't even conquer our own minds and our own hearts? We can't even be comfortable in our own skin. If we still take pride in helping other people, that's true self-sacrifice and all these. You realize that because you value your competence and your presence and your ability to help so little by being so generous with it, your help actually becomes less and less effective. You actually become less and less substantial. You actually feel more and more shit about yourself as you spend more time sacrificing yourself for other people, thinking that fulfills some self-righteous prophecy, thinking that boosts your value as a human being when you're just a stepping stone for others. What significance can your help bring? Seriously think, you're useless. You're using your phone half the day. You bring no value to the table. If you want to be somebody who gives up themselves for others, if you want to be self-sacrificing and respected, you have to value your sacrifice. Everything you do has to have value. You can't be an absolute wasteman, 14-year-old trash with an undeveloped brain that hasn't done any deliberate work on themselves and expect to be valuable and respected. You'll be nothing. Especially when you're tied down by all this trauma and codependency shit. You need to overcome yourself, have full control over your mind and your emotions before you're able to provide significant and substantial help to other people. Confidence is being able to stand for yourself. Confidence is knowing your worth, the value of your attention, the value of your help. And you can't just know that from day one. You have to build value for that. You build value for that by doing things for yourself. Once you get to a high enough level in the social hierarchy, your attention becomes valuable because you've built up yourself. That sounds selfish, that sounds narcissistic, that sounds delusional, but think about it. What you're doing right now, is that not any of those three? Is that any better than trying to climb a social hierarchy, sitting in your self-righteousness, thinking you're so valuable? We haven't given back enough to even think that we have any substantial place. We have to build ourselves up. How can we have value when we can't make money? The only value you have is your fluency of speech, your ability to show respect, your ability to show gratitude to the people who've done things for you, things you're responsible for, things your parents make you responsible for. Building a brotherhood, building a social circle that is filled with genuine and respectable people. That is the only contribution you can give. Take full care of yourself. Take full responsibility of everything within your immediate reach, and developing that, making progress at every corner with the goal of making life easier for the people around you. And there's only one way you can do that. Not by sacrificing yourself, just making life worse for your parents. Raise you up to be a self-sacrificer. What you actually take pride in that? Your parents sacrifice everything for you just to be a stepping stone for other people. Are you dumb? If you want to be a man of substance, if you want to be valuable, you have to work, you have to increase your worth. Your inability to say something, to address an issue, to point out something to someone, to point out something about themselves to themselves. That made no sense. But you get what I mean. Being able to stand for something, even if it means standing alone. And I think that's a very powerful trait. Everyone you ever meet will subconsciously notice your weakness, and they will either avoid you or they'll make use of you. Confidence allows you to become the person you picture yourself to be, to become your ideal self, because it enables you to trial and error. It allows you to create genuine connections where you don't hold back your criticisms and your qualms about one another. You won't have to chronically hold back how you express yourself. You felt it before when you talk to somebody who isn't self-assured or mentally healthy, constantly complains about their life. It's a pain in the ass. But of course you have empathy for them, you want to help them. But if you're still struggling with yourself, you find that incredibly taxing, and you won't have the capacity for it to constantly do that on a daily basis. Having to constantly think whether you're pushing boundaries or whether what you say or do will affect them negatively. These relationships often end up shallow, superficial, and tiring. Having the ability to trial and error in your relationships, push boundaries, challenge one another, that's what creates an authentic bond and magnificent relationship. Confidence allows you to make better choices. It allows you to eliminate fear being a factor of your decision, which means you can logically analyze and make the best choice from there. Confidence and the ability to be honest and straightforward is incredibly charismatic. You find that people would gravitate towards you because of your decisiveness and your assertiveness, because they trust that you give the best answer despite how you feel in the moment. Confidence will allow the people around you to be liberated of their fears when communicating with you. They know you are not sensitive, so they will be more comfortable, they'll be willing to insult and tease, and it'll be a very fun relationship. Confidence is an absolutely killer trait. Just chase discomfort, increase the difficulty one step at a time. Confidence is broken, man. It's a broken stat. Trust. See you to a better world.